streets. You can't go this way, you can't go that way. Construction right there. So it takes a lot longer to get to work. And of course, the perks, those things, in front of me. But I didn't come on here to talk about that. I came on to just vlog and introduce myself. I'm usually extremely private. And I usually don't really talk to you guys. I just post and research. And why is this person's light so bright? But anyway, I usually research. I am a former targeted individual. That's what I'm going to call myself, because I am being cleared from this craziness that is happening, was happening. A few things here or there, but that's what I would like to get into tonight. My name is Teresa, and I am a certified RAT, which means that I am a detox technician, basically, and I work at a detox center in Acton. Really beautiful place. And I work at night. I'm in the overnight shift, 4 days a week. It used to be 5, now it's 4 days a week. And I think I was targeted. My targeting started years ago. And I had no idea what was going on. I think it started around 2008, 2009. I do not claim it. So, just so you guys know, I'm going to talk about it, but I don't claim it. It does not belong to me. It's their problem. Whoever they are, it's their problem. It's not my problem. So, around the time when Obama became president for the first time, that's when it happened in the physical. That's what I'll say. In the 3D realm, which is this realm that we live in. I went to a website, big Obama fan, and it's getting cold. Went to a weird website. I used to follow CNN a lot. Used to be a really big fan of Anderson Cooper, so I used to follow him a lot. And somehow I ended on this website. It does not exist anymore, but I think it was a website for the 3-letter word. I think it was a recruiting website for them. It's a fake website, but at the website they talked about politics and things like that. And I found out it was a lot of racist people on that website. A lot of racist people. And they were saying awful things about African Americans, biracial people, Jewish people, you name it. They were literally equal opportunity racist. I did not know this, but I had literally paid a fee to be signed in to this website. Sign on to it, you have to pay a fee. It's a private website and it has a lot of different subjects. And as I began to go into the website and look at the different subjects, the subjects on the pages were fine. It was when you would go down the thread and you would read certain things, and I would be like, what the? Oh my gosh, these people are awful. And so I started to complain about it. This was years ago, like I said, in 2008, 2009, when I a house in Lancaster. I was doing really well. I was renting. I was not thinking about buying a house at the time, but I had a really nice house on the west side, very desirable neighborhood in Lancaster, California. And I had the whole thing. I had the house, the dog, the career. I worked a lot of overtime. I was making really, really good money. And I went to this website and I contacted the webmaster about all of the racist rhetoric that was going on inside the website. And of course, he was able to see that I paid with a credit card. It was a membership, my address, my name, everything. So once I made that complaint to that webmaster, it was a wrap. That's when all of the weird stuff started happening. I would say like two weeks later, but the hacking started happening right away. Like within 24 hours, my computer started. It had like a download thing on it every time I would log on, and these were the computers that were real big. I had my own office, but the computer was really big and gigantic, the old school computers. And yeah, they started hacking me right away, and then about a week after that, cars started to park on the side of the road, on the side of my house, just sit there all night long. Still didn't think anything of it. I had no idea. I didn't think that your government would do something like that. I didn't even think that was even possible. Gang stalking and harassment, covert surveillance. Didn't think it was possible. Whatever you want to call it. So that was the beginning of what I'm going through right now. For years, I did not know that I was being studied, that I was being hit, with directed energy. Didn't know any of that for years. But I was. Now that I can remember, I was. And I moved a lot. Once I realized something was wrong, I didn't know it was called targeting. I had no idea it was called targeting. Oh, look, we have a drone. I didn't know it was called targeting until I ended up in another city years later. I moved a lot, kept moving. I didn't move from that place. From that place, shortly after I made that complaint to the webmaster, and then they infiltrated my life. I got an eviction notice from not an eviction because I paid my rent, but my landlord told me that I had to move, basically. And I had been there I think I was there for like 3 years. He didn't tell me, I have to go up on the rent. He didn't tell me any of that. He said, you have to get out. And so he gave me 60 days, and after that I moved into a townhouse on the east side, a really nice townhouse. They were fairly new. Lived there for a while, and then I thought, you know what, God is telling me that I just need to start saving for my house, because I was planning on that anyway. I just was not planning on that like really, really, really soon, for it to be real soon, because I didn't even know if I wanted to stay in the same state, to be honest with you. I wasn't sure. So stayed on the east side of Lancaster in the townhouse for, I would say, almost 2 years. Just fishing, basically getting my research out of the way, what area I wanted to live in. Like I said, you guys, I had a really, really good career. I was in school, and I had 2 jobs. I had a full-time full-time job and I had a part-time job, and then I was in school. So yeah, I was doing pretty good. So after I realized the area that I had wanted to live in, it wasn't in Lancaster. I was like, I don't want to buy a house here. It's growing, it's getting too big, and I've always been the type of person that preferred living somewhere peaceful and quiet. So my first house was in a place called California City. Some of you may know about California City. It is a desert town. It's very small, and it's a town. It's not a city, it's a town. And it is about 45 minutes from Lancaster. So that would have been like 45 minutes from my family. And I was like, the house is beautiful. It was a $200,000 house. It had like a chef's kitchen. Big, beautiful open space. Well over 2,000 square feet. And, you know, it was me and my adopted son. And at first I was really, really happy there. Unfortunately, the house was right next to a field. And there's a lot of low-income people that lived there that didn't bother me, but unfortunately a lot of them were on meth. So it had a really high meth population. It was beautiful though. I mean, I would see a scorpion in my garage and I'd be like, ah, but it was the kind of life I wanted to live. It was desert life. It was very hot. I put in a lot of things in the house that I wanted, a lot of renovations. Qualified for the first time buyer program, so I didn't have to pay much to move in. And it was a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom, three bathrooms. So it was a really big house. I didn't realize I was gonna have to be cleaning that big old house. That kind of deterred me. I was like, ooh, this house is too big to be cleaning and stuff like that. But I put everything, new toilets, new paint. It was modern. It was just beautiful. New blinds, new everything. Everything. So, lived there for about a year. Same thing started happening. When we would leave, I would come back and I could tell that somebody had been in the house. A lot of times when we were there, I could tell that somebody was in the house, in the attic. At night, I would hear digging out in the field. I would hear, somebody with a shovel. And wonder what the heck was going on. Still very naive and did not think anything of it. Had no idea that there was someone out there digging a hole so that they can gain access to my house. Because when you're in the desert and stuff like that, it's really, really dark at night. They don't have lights and stuff out there. But I'm not thinking about that. I'm not thinking that because I'm living my life. I didn't even know the targeting program, the covert surveillance. I didn't even know any of that existed. So I'm just trying to figure out why this meth head is out there digging a hole at night. I couldn't figure it out. About an acre away was another house. An older lady lived there. And actually it was her grandson that was out there. He was addicted to meth. I found out from another neighbor that him and his brother have been in and out of jail cells most of their life, drugs most of their life. The other brother had just gotten out of prison. They were basically wreaking havoc on the town. And they had mommy issues because they didn't get along with their mother. So it was like layer upon layer upon layer. They didn't get along with their mother. The mother kicked them out because they were doing drugs, meth heads. I got all of this information secondhand from a neighbor that did not want to be identified, but she contacted me and told me about them. So, because I went to the app, the neighborhood app, and I was like telling the neighbors like what was going on, some of the things that was going on. And I was like, this is weird. Like, is anybody else experiencing this? And yeah, so she contacted me right away and she told me where she lived, kitty corner to where I am on another street, but there's a small field right there, so I can see her backyard. Like, I can see them, her and her husband. And I can see her husband outside a lot, watching, you know. I think he was looking out for me the best way that he could. The best that he could. Sorry about that, you guys. But basically, yeah, that's what was going on with me. At Oleander Drive, let's call it Oleander Drive. That's the street that I lived on. Beautiful flower name street, beautiful house, but yeah, it was really bad. So he had started breaking in. He broke the pipes below. Yes, he did. He broke those pipes below my house, and he wiggled himself up in the attic. He got up in the attic. I feel like he was hired to do that, so he was a perp. I would even hear music up there. A lot of times I would hear music up there, and he would just be living up there. I could hear him up there walking. Called the police a couple of times, but every time I called the police, he would hear me calling the police and he'd just leave. He would just go through his little secret hole that he had, and he would disappear. And so when the police would come, they even brought the equipment to look through the walls, to look at the walls and look inside the walls. And of course they didn't see anything. They couldn't find anything because he would disappear, basically. So I was like, oh no, I'm not dealing with this. I am not dealing with this at all. And I was like, I have to get my son out of this situation. Like, he would just be sitting down, eating his cereal, and then all of a sudden we would hear like a boom, 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 boom. And, you know, like, I'm terrified. I'm trying to figure out what the heck is going on. And we're both looking up at the ceiling, like, and he would be like, did you hear that? He had autism, but he could talk a little bit, and I could understand him. So he would be like, did you hear that? And I would be like, yeah. But I would try to, like, shrug it off because I didn't want him to start panicking and losing it and flipping out, which is understandable, you know, if he did, because that's crazy. So anyway, I didn't stay in the house long. I just fixed it up really, really nice. And by that time, it was COVID. It was around COVID. And believe it or not, even though I didn't stay in the house, but about 2 years, I think I stayed in the house. I got a decent amount of money for it. So let's see what's going on right here. So I got a decent amount of money for it, and I was like, you know what? I'm out of here. I'm getting out of California City. So I started researching again, and I was like, a friend of mine at that time told me about Ridgecrest. She said that she wouldn't mind moving to Ridgecrest, and I had never heard of Ridgecrest. I was like, what? Ridgecrest? Where's that? And so Ridgecrest is in Kern County as well, and it's about 40 minutes from California City. So bought a nice, cozy little house out there in Ridgecrest. I sold my house in Cal City, and then I bought a house in Ridgecrest. When I bought the house in Ridgecrest, I did the same thing. I hired painters, new toilets, new paint, new everything basically. And the same thing started happening again. My dog would flip out in the backyard because neighbors that were hired would jump over the fence and, you know, look at my windows, attempt to look at my windows. They would, at night, late at night, I would hear noises at night. So they would come in and out of my property. They would jump the fence, and I would see footprints and things like that. I knew which neighbor was doing it, too. I knew which neighbor was doing it. And, so it's pretty bad out there, too. I even heard there was a mentally ill man that lived right next door to me. He was harmless. But he took a lot of medications, and his sister would actually come and visit him from time to time to just make sure he was okay. He was high functioning. He was very, very smart. He had a career at one time, but he was just different. He was different, and I kind of wonder sometimes if he was targeted as well. But anyway, like I said, he was harmless. They knew that. They studied him. They knew when he took his medication. I think they probably would sleep bomb him as well. He was very eccentric. He would not come outside during the day when most people would come outside. Like, he would get up early in the morning. He would do his walking. He would do his thing. And then he would go to his house and hide. Literally hide. And would not come out until the next morning. So, and this is his sister who gave me this information about him. So I actually got to know her. Real nice lady. She told me a lot about him. But they would go to his backyard, and they were digging a hole in his backyard. So these people actually dug a hole from his backyard, which was really trashy and dirty, to my house. There were 2 tunnels, and I saw it, but there was nothing I could do about it. And then there was I had a piece of land right next to the house too, so I bought that land. And then there was a house next to that. So I had like a half acre of land, and then these 2 brothers who were gifted a house from their mother. I found out later that they were racist. They weren't skinheads, but they were extremely racist. And I don't know about the mother. I don't know anything about her. I just know that they were extremely racist. They never spoke to me. They would just stare and look. So I was like, okay, so I'm dealing with that type of person. Eventually, you just start ignoring them, you know. But there was also a hole from his house, their house, because they were brothers, over to my house as well. So just know that these people will do that. You know, the 3-letter agency, these people will do that. If they want to get to you, especially if you're single and you're a woman and you're living by yourself, they will find a way to get inside your house. It's basically called frogging. And there was a whole series about that. I don't think it's on anymore, but I think it was on Lifetime. It might be on YouTube now, but it's called frogging, and it's spelled PHROGGING, frogging, PH with the PH. And so that is what kept happening to me because I had to research it. After that, I had to research what was going on. I was like, what is this? Why is it every time I move into a new house, this happens? And the painter that I had, he had complained about his security system going out on him, and it went out for a little while, and then it came back up, and I was thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I hope what's happening to me is not happening to him. I felt really, really bad about that. And then there's a really nice guy named Shorty, real nice Latino man that was coming over and putting like specialized bricks on the flooring. Yeah, I guess that's what you call it. On the flooring. I didn't want the hard wood floors. I wanted like, I wanted bricks. I wanted it to be like very modern, but with a southwestern type of feel to it. So he was doing my flooring, and because he was doing my flooring, he said that somebody, the day that he was supposed to come over and do a lot of work for me, he woke up to a flat tire. And I was like, huh? And he drove this really big, nice truck too. So I think it was 2 tires. It wasn't just one, it was 2. And then I started to realize what's happening here. So anybody that is attached to me gets attacked. Literally gets attacked. And so I gave him a free camera that I wasn't using, and he put that up. He couldn't understand what was going on. He thought it was really strange. But I also did not talk about what was going on with me to other people unless I really trusted them. So I didn't talk to them about the targeting because I didn't even know what it was. Oh, I did talk to Shorty about like helping me get a gun and teaching me how to shoot and things like that, because he was very, very he was attracted to me. He was he could flirt a little bit. He was a nice guy, but he was very flirty, and he would go above and beyond to like help me and do things, which I thought was really kind of him. So he did. He helped me get a gun. It told me what type of gun to look at, what type of gun to get. And he told me he was going to take me to a range because I told him there's people that's coming on my property, and I didn't feel safe. And so had I stayed there, he probably would have done a lot for me. But again, like I said, you guys, things started happening. The same things. People coming at night. I could hear giggling. I had like an old-fashioned stove that I did not like. It was a wood stove. It was in the living room, and it took up a lot of space. And I think that is where they put the little hole at, is so that they could have access to my living room. Because I was in there watching TV one time in my gown in my living room, minding my own business, and I heard 2 people in the wall. And then I heard somebody say, shh, like that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, are we doing this again? Is this happening again? And so after that, I heard a phone ring. And my phone was nowhere to be found. I don't even think I had my phone on because of the hacking and stuff like that. Now, why did this car wait until I pulled up and then pulled right in front of me? But anyway, that is what happened. So my phone, I would turn my phone off because of all of the hacking. My phone would get hot, and I had been doing that for years. It would get hot, like really, really hot, like it was gonna like explode. And there would be things done to it to where I couldn't research, I couldn't get online, I couldn't make phone calls. Every person that has been targeted has gone through that and is going through that. But that's one of the first things they did was they hacked my electronical. All of anything electronical that I was using, they hacked it. So, heard a ring in the wall, literally. And I think that very next week, I was like, that thing has got to go. It's got to go. It's old. It has cracks in it. And whoever these people are, they can see me. So I hired Shorty and his company to come out and get rid of that and just put a wall right there. So I was able to do that. But of course, it didn't stop. It didn't stop. So I was like, well, I gotta get out of here. And basically, that's what I did again. I ran again. So, oh, Lord Jesus, I was there for like a year and a half, and I was putting money into the house, and that's what they wanted to do. Their goal was to drain your finances. Completely drain your finances so you can keep running and running and running and running and running until you have no money left and until you're homeless. That's one of their programs that they do. So, but at the time I didn't know because I didn't know I was targeted. So I left there and I was having the house worked on because I was going to rent it out. And I thought I had found some really nice renters. I moved to Bakersfield. I really love Bakersfield. Big town, small field. So I was living in Airbnbs for a while in Bakersfield. And I loved it. But I was being followed there too. They would always send perps there before me because of my phone. They have access to your phone and stuff like that. So, Lord Jesus. So anyway, every single Airbnb that I would go to, they would have a perp waiting on me. It's foggy, I can't see. And so I started to figure that out, and I was like, I need to be in a place where I'm more stable. And so I found a townhouse out there, moved into the townhouse, started working. That townhouse was awful. Man, I would hear pops in the walls. It was right by a really big city. If anybody is listening that lives in Bakersfield, it is called Real Road, R-E-A-L, Real Road. And man, the perps would just drive by and just pop after pop after pop after pop. And then after the pop, you kind of like would feel the directed energy, because at that time, I did not know how to protect myself. Hell, I didn't even know what was going on. So, stayed there for about 4 months. The whole apartment building was perping me. These people were awful. They were draining my car battery. I have a electric car that I purchased from the sale of one of my houses. And so they would drain the battery because it's easier to try to tear your car up with a regular engine. So if I don't have any electricity in my car, then my car automatically switches over to regular engine, and so it runs hard. It'll run really hard. Like, have you ever heard of that? Like a Toyota hybrid running hard? And when I say runs really hard, I mean like if you're targeted, a car will like pull up to you or pull behind you, basically. Can I fit in there? Yeah. See, it's running hard right now, if you can hear it. It's not supposed to run like that. You guys hear that? That is because a car pulled behind me with the microwave lights. And they love to do that when I'm out. They'll pull behind me and then they will have the lights. I don't know, it does something to my engine or something. I'm pretty sure other targeted people is going through the same thing that I'm going through. But so I'm gonna stop on Real Road. I'm gonna stop right there. This is going to be a part 1, and I'm eventually gonna get to where I'm at now, which is almost being cleared from this craziness. You see that it stopped? You see that? My car is not supposed to run really hard, and when it runs hard, it also uses a lot more gas. So that's another way that they try to break you financially. Well, we're gonna stop at Real Road, Bakersfield Townhouse, and I'll start back up maybe tomorrow night. I'll start back up. Okay. Thanks for listening.